Now, the National Environment Management Authority is pushing for the prosecution of owners of the metal refinery EPZ Limited over lead poisoning of Owino Uhuru residents in Mombasa. Nema Director General Professor Geoffrey Wahungu says that Nema has forwarded information to the Director of Public Prosecution seeking to secure a prosecution. Nema officials were grilled by the Parliamentary Committee on Environment following the KTN expose Futaria Sumu on Jichopevu and the Inside Stories Plague for Profit.
10 days after the KTN expose Futaria Sumu on Jichopevu by Mohammed Ali and the Inside Stories Plague for Profit by John Allan Namu, which detailed the suffering of residents of Owino Uhuru slums in Mombasa due to lead poisoning by the metal refinery EPZ Limited, the Parliamentary Committee on Environment was seeking answers from the National Environment Management Authority. Nema, which issued the metal refinery EPZ Limited with an operating license in February 2008, says it did not issue a battery recycling license to the company.
There was nothing wrong with the initial EIA because we issued the EIA for smelting.
Nema issued a closure order to the factory on the 3rd of October 2013 following complaints over the operations of the factory. Nema later lifted the closure order, and the Director General is blaming the Mombasa District Health Officer who gave the factory a clean bill of health and recommended its reopening.
We acted on their advice according to MCA and went ahead and opened the facility. Even if we wanted to argue, we do not have the mandate nor the expertise as ourselves to deal with this kind of issue.
Residents of Owino Uhuru affected by lead poisoning from the metal refinery EPZ Limited are still seeking justice. The polluter pays principle, which would have compelled the company to pay for its shortcomings, is yet to be effected.
As a committee, we are looking at actualizing the polluter pay principle in legislation by probably fast-tracking the regulations pertaining to polluter pay principle that's been pending.
Nema says it is seeking legal action against those behind the metal refinery EPZ Limited.
We have been in constant communication with the office of the DPP and giving them information every day as we get it to actually secure a prosecution.
They should be taken to court, and after the matter is heard and finalized, then we should be able to quantify the amount of damage that has been felt by the members of the public, and ask the person who is responsible to pay that as a civil action in a court of law.
Nema has started a decommissioning strategy for the facility that has brought untold suffering to the residents of Owino Uhuru, for whom justice may be a long time coming. Rita Tinina, KTN.